Welcome to the Pro Wrestling Podcast with Lee Burt. I am your host, Lee Burt. Please take a moment to click on that subscribe button while you're here. Also like us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/The Pro Wrestling Podcast. It's a little over 2 weeks until WrestleMania. Things are starting to take shape. This week's episode of SmackDown was pretty average, but we now officially know Daniel Bryan's role at the granddaddy of them all. We also learned that Daniel Bryan is a turd. Daniel Bryan will be competing alongside Bad News Barrett, Luke Harper, Stardust, R-Truth, Dean Ambrose, and Dolph Ziggler for the Intercontinental Championship. I kind of figured Daniel would either be involved in this match or face a returning Sheamus. It's always possible more superstars could be added to this ladder match, but I think it's a little cluttered already. I think I would have preferred a four-way ladder match between Ambrose, Bryan, Ziggler, and Barrett. With the addition of Stardust in this match, it seems like creative has pulled the plug on the angle with Goldust. I think that's a shame. It makes you wonder if the botched finish at Fastlane had anything to do with this. I thought that could have been an interesting angle if presented right, especially with Dusty in the mix. On Raw, we finally got confirmation that The Undertaker will return to face Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania. It was a pretty neat segment with lots of special effects. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of finish they come up with for this match. Do you beat The Undertaker 2 years in a row? Or do you take the steam out of Bray Wyatt? I might book a DQ finish, especially if this match is earlier in the card. That way Bray looks strong, but Taker is 22-1. It'll also be interesting to see how they handle the entrances for this match. They both usually come out in darkness, but WrestleMania is outdoors on the West Coast. It'll likely still be daylight. We finally heard Sting talk this week. Well, kinda anyway. The video package looked great, but I, like many others, have no idea why they decided to alter Sting's voice. There have been a lot of references to the Black Scorpion angle that happened in WCW. I think this will be a good match, but the WWE versus WCW angle is a day late and $1 short in my opinion. John Cena finally got some retribution against Rusev this week. It looks like we'll get the rematch at WrestleMania that we expected. The only real mystery here is whether they'll put Cena over for the United States Championship or keep Rusev strong as a possible contender against the winner of the World Heavyweight Championship match. Speaking of the main event, they are still doing everything in their power to build Roman Reigns in the days remaining. That includes wasting a Mark Henry return on SmackDown. The only thing keeping this angle interesting is Paul Heyman and the status of Brock's contract negotiations. Randy Orton finally got his hands on Seth Rollins this week. He said on SmackDown that he plans to challenge Rollins to a WrestleMania match Monday on Raw. I think this match has the potential to steal the show. It's also interesting to think about what might happen should Rollins decide to cash in his Money in the Bank contract. Well, that's all the time we have on this episode. Stay tuned for future episodes of the Pro Wrestling Podcast with Lee Burt. I hope you all have a great weekend.